Hello and welcome to Rathod's IAS. Today in this class, we are going to see current affairs of 9th December 2023. So first of all, we are going to see the PDF of Hindu and we are going to pick out the articles which are important from our examination point of view. And later on, we are going to think about in how many dimensions we can relate that topic. And we are also going to think that so in how many subjects we can interlink that so and so single topic, so that approach will helpful to improve your think process, and that thinking process is very useful to write a multi-dimensional essay and as well as a multi-dimensional answer. So nowadays in your UPSC, they are not only asking a question from single subject point of view. You are asking by connecting 2 or 3 subjects. So because of this, yes, you need to develop this approach. So if you are isolating and if you are reading a single subject and if you are not interlinking one subject with another subject, then you will be out of the race. So if you want to be in race and if you want to clear this UPSC examination, so this approach will be very helpful and you have to follow this approach. So we are going to see how to learn the thought process and we are going to practice day by day, so that automatically within 3 to 4 months of time, then you will be understanding how to read newspaper and how to connect this dynamic part with our static syllabus. So this is our motto. So if you are watching this Rathod's IAS Academy's news analysis, so please do watch daily. Don't leave in middle. So this is the front page of Hindu, that too Delhi edition. So first article is important. Okay, it is RBI keeps repo rate at 6.5%, raises GDP growth forecast. So this article is talking about 2 important things. So first one, it is about repo rate. So what is the first one? First one is repo rate and second one is GDP forecast. So who is doing this? Okay, that is nothing but RBI. So RBI is Central Bank of India, that is Reserve Bank of India, which said that we are going to keep repo rate constant, that is 6.5%, and it also came up with this forecast of our GDP. So here you have to understand what is the role of RBI in deciding this repo rate. So here you have to connect this repo rate with one more concept called as inflation. So what is this inflation? So whenever there is increasing of prices of goods and services in the market, that condition is called as inflation. So whenever there is increasing of prices in market, here we have to see who have the role to control this inflation. Again, we can divide it into 2 parts. So one will be the government and next one will be the RBI. So both RBI and government, they have to play an important role to control inflation in the market. So here what are the steps that are taken by government? That will comes under fiscal policy. So what is that called as? Fiscal policy. So fiscal policy talks about the steps taken by government to control inflation. And what is this RBI steps? They are called as monetary policy. So it is called as monetary policy. So in this monetary policy, it will be changing interest rates. It will be changing interest rates. Some example here is repo rate and we have reverse repo rate. Okay. So what is the relationship between interest rate change and inflation? So what is the relationship? So what is the important reason for this inflation? So an important cause here is whenever there is increasing of money supply in market. So whenever there is increasing of money supply in the market, for example, earlier I used to have 1000 rupees in my hand, but now after doing job I am having 10,000 rupees in my hand. So because of this, whenever money supply is more in the market, that will lead to increasing of demands. So whenever there is increasing of demand, and whenever there is decreasing of supply, so what happens, supply demand imbalance will happen. So because of this, automatically there will be rise in the price. There will be rise in the price of the goods in the market. So here RBI wants to control this money supply through this interest rate. So whenever RBI want to increase money supply in the market, then at that time there will be decreasing of interest rates. Okay, so whenever RBI wants to control money supply or to decrease money supply, so RBI will be increasing this interest rates. So in the same way, whenever RBI wants to decrease money supply in the market, it will increase interest rate. For example, repo rate, reverse repo rate, like that. Okay, so this is the first concept. I hope it is clear. And next one is GDP forecast. So what is this GDP forecast? So GDP is nothing but total value of, it is total value of final goods and service in the market. So it is the total value of final goods and service in the market, that is called as GDP. So different organizations like RBI, SBI or IMF, World Bank will come up with the forecast of GDP. So now in this context, RBI came up with this forecast and it said that here we are going to have the good growth, okay, to 7%. Earlier it said that 6.5%. Now it said that there is 7% of growth of GDP. Okay, so here in this context you have to see what is this repo rate. Okay, so this is very, very important point. So this is about this first article in the front page. So other than this, most of the articles are political articles, and we discussed about this topic of expulsion of MP. So number of times. So you have to revise that topic, and you have to revise about this parliamentary committees chapter as well. So here you can see one interesting image, that is Marine Commandos rehearsing for Navy Day celebrations in Visakhapatnam on Friday. Here the celebrations were postponed to December 10th because of this cyclone Mekong. So this is about the celebrations of Navy Day. Okay, so you have to see, like if you are preparing for other competitive examinations, even Navy Day is very, very important. And if you move on, so yesterday I got a comment like, please discuss about the appointment process of CM. So I am going to discuss that topic today. So actually BJP to pick CMs of 3 states over weekend. So here you have to connect this topic with GS paper 2 under polity. GS paper 2 under polity, especially you have to focus on appointment of chief minister, and you have to see constitutional provisions and what are the discretionary powers of governor in the appointment process. So those things are very, very important, and you can get a prelims based question regarding this appointment of CM this year because of appointment of 5 state CM which happened because of elections. And this city page I didn't find anything important from our examination point of view, and you can move on simply, no need of looking here and there. And here in the states page you can see one article that is about unemployment rate. So Delhi's unemployment rate is higher than national average, finds government report. So government recently came up with a report. Okay, so in that report it said that there is increasing of unemployment, and the report name here is Women and Men in Delhi 2023. So Women and Men in Delhi 2023 report said that there is very high unemployment rate in Delhi region. So here you have to see this word, what is this unemployment rate. So the keyword here is unemployment rate. Keyword is unemployment rate, and you have to see what exactly the meaning of this unemployment rate, and you have to see what are the reasons for this unemployment. So reasons for this increasing of unemployment, and you have to see what are the issues because of this unemployment. So how it is affecting the socio-economic fabric of society. So all these things are very, very important. And what are the data that we are going to see in this report? That data is useful to write your introduction. Okay. So this article is important from your economy, which comes under GS paper 3. So this is very, very important. Okay. And if you move on, I want to say one thing, especially from our state. So yesterday, after we got new CM, he conducted Praja Darbar, and one of the things that I can say here, which is unique to our new CM, is so he directly came in contact with the people, and the people who had the problems, they went to this Pragati Bhavan, which had been recently renamed as Jyoti Rao Phule Praja Bhavan. And actually, what are the bargains that are present around this had been removed, and people, they are directly come in contact with the CM, and CM is personally transferring the cases to the different departments where they can get the justice. So this is a very, very unique thing. So if this kind of CMs, they are present in every state, so I can say that so people will be not having any problems at all. So I like this unique quality of our CM. So please let me know like which are the qualities that you like in your CM, and please let me know from which state you are from. Okay, so this is one thing I liked a lot, and I became a big fan after seeing yesterday's people's response after this Praja Sabha. Okay, and next one here is Telangana CM Revanth Reddy resigns from LS. So actually he is MP also, and now in this assembly elections he elected as MLA, and finally he became CM. So because of this, yes, there should be the loss of membership will be done. So if the membership is present in both Lok Sabha and Legislative Assembly, so it is a choice which is given to that person, because he had to retain only one membership. So because of this person, he resigned from this Lok Sabha. Okay, so here this provision is very important, and you can see this provision in our Lakshmikant book in Parliament chapter. So go through this chapter once. And this topic is important from your polity point of view. And polity is very important because you will be getting 15 to 20 questions directly from your polity in prelims. Don't ignore this polity, especially if you are getting any question from this polity, you have to do that right, so that there will be increased chance of clearing of prelims. And if you move on, you can go to this editorial page. Yes, you can see this article, India's alarming fixed dose combination problem. Okay, so the problem here is about antibiotics. So if you are going to any hospital that you are facing some fever or some issues like cough, cold, they will be prescribing antibiotics. That too, the fixed dose will be given to you. So because of this fixed dose of this antibiotics which are prescribed, or you can get easily on this OTC, that's over the counter medicine in the pharmacies, so that is one of the leading cause for this antibiotic resistance. So here you have to see like what is antimicrobial resistance, and this topic is important from your science and technology, which comes in a GS paper 3. And here you can get a mains question regarding this antimicrobial resistance, because it is a very, very important topic, and it is a burning challenge that we are going to face in future. Because in future, what are the antibodies are present that may or not going to work. And next topic, it is bridge this deficit between India and Sri Lanka. So you have to see like what are the issues which are present between India and Sri Lanka relations. As you know that Sri Lanka is part of India's neighborhood first policy, but even though we are facing some problem, for example, increasing of Chinese interference in Sri Lanka, and even because of this 13th amendment of this constitution of Sri Lanka, and even fishermen issue that you can talk, and even you can talk about cancelling of different projects of India, and even you can talk about Hambantota port, which is given on lease to China, Okay, so all these things are very, very important, and these are the some important challenges that we are facing between India and Sri Lanka. So we have to decrease them as far as possible. And leave this ground zero, it is not at all useful. And in this news page, you can see this article, that is new climate draft seeks tripling of renewable energy capacity. So here you have to focus on global stocktake. So already number of times we discussed about that global stocktake. So here you have to focus on, so what are the important highlights of this COP28. So they said that we have to move towards this renewable energy, and we have to increase this renewable energy capacity. So this is about this topic. And in this page number 12, you can see one article, that is Center reviews wheat stock limits to rein in prices hoarding. So actually what happened this year, I will write. So actually what happened this year, because of unseasonal rainfall, in northern states, so because of unseasonal rain in northern state which had been affected wheat production. So this wheat production had been decreased. Okay, so this wheat production had been decreased. So because of this, what happened? Supply will be decreased. And if you want to go for exports, it will further deteriorate the condition of domestic people. Okay, so this is the thing which mainly said here. And next topic is center bans onion export till March. Nasik farmers are doing protest. So now you see the price of onion is very, very high. It is around 70 rupees per kg. Okay, so if you are talking about the prices increase, that means we can see there is supply demand imbalance. So here we have to correct this imbalance, so that here the government banned the export of these onions. Okay, so this article is also very important. And in this world page I found nothing much important. Yeah, here you can see one more article, that is about US FDA approves pair of gene therapy for sickle cell disease. So what is the meaning of the sickle cell disease? So we have blood. Yes, if you have any cut, you will be seeing the blood is coming out. So in which color we have blood? So blood is in red color, right? So in blood we have different blood cells. RBC, WBC and platelets. So we have RBC, WBC and platelets. So RBC is nothing but red blood cells. So this is the red blood cells. So they will be in this disc shape. And we have WBC. In this we have different types, neutrophils, okay, like that. Eosinophils, neutrophils, basophils, like that we will be having WBC. And these platelets are also called as thrombocyte. It is helpful in the clotting. So the problem with this sickle cell disease is with RBC. So RBC is normally in this shape, disc shape, but they will be converting into this sickle shaped. So whenever this RBC is converting into sickle shape, they will be having less ability to carry oxygen to the different parts, and even because of the sickle shape, so it will be also causing damage to the blood vessels. Okay, so here this sickle cell disease is one of the rare disease. Okay, so now we have came up with the therapies, that is a treatment which is approved for the people who are aged 12 years and above this 12 years. Okay, so sickle cell disease, which makes the body flaccid, sickle shaped hemoglobin and impairing the ability of red blood cells to properly carry oxygen to the body tissue. And these sickle cells, they tend to stick together and they can block the small vessels. So because of this, it will also cause an intense pain. Okay, so it also leads to the strokes and as well as organ failure. So these are some complications of the sickle cell diseases. And if you move on business page, I didn't find nothing important. So these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. And now let us see notes. So before seeing notes, I want to say that we are going to come up with this prelims booster course that is going to be started from Monday itself. Today is Saturday, and from Monday you will be starting this prelims booster course. So that course is very useful to clear your prelims. Please believe me, and I will assure you that so your chance of clearing this prelims will be very high if you join this course, because we are going to give you day-to-day schedule, and based on that you will be having daily test at 6 p.m. Okay, that test will be having 15 to 20 questions every day, and from February onwards we will be having this full length test series. Okay, so the detailed syllabus and as well as schedule which is given in description box, so please see that once. And if you want to join that course, you can call me on number 8074765513, and even you can text me on WhatsApp or Telegram. So if you have any problem of paying money, so please let me know so that we can resolve that issue as well. Okay, so this is very useful course, so please do join that course. Okay, and now let us move on to the notes page. So this is the notes page, and if you want to download this notes page, you can go to this Telegram channel, Rathod's IS classes. There we are posting these notes. There you can get access to this notes as well. So first topic, it is about repo rate. I discussed about the brief introduction regarding this repo rate, what exactly. So what is the role of government, what is the role of RBI, everything I discussed. So if you see context, it says that Monetary Policy Committee of Reserve Bank of India unanimously decided to keep our interest rates unchanged. It said that we have to keep these interest rates unchanged, and also raised this GDP forecast from 6.5% to 7%. Okay, so here it also said that in month of November and December there is increased inflation, that is spike or increase in the price of goods and services. So if you see details, it says that repo rate is the rate. So what is this repo rate? So repo rate is the rate at which Reserve Bank of India, RBI, lends to other banks. So it is a part of LAF, that is Liquidity Adjustment Facility of RBI, and RBI rate borrowing is generally available overnight. So this repo rate is for short term period, that is for night or for 7 days or for 14 days. So here the commercial banks, they need to make the repurchase of agreement with RBI, and they can sell this G securities, that is government securities, and buy back at a different rate on an agreed price. So what happened whenever there is increasing of this repo rate, or whenever there is increasing of repo rate, so here the bank's borrowing capacity will be decreased, so that will be giving less amount of loans to the people, and that will leads to the less amount of money supply in the market. And if there is decreasing of repo rate, it will encourage the banks to give more loans. So more loans, more money with the people, and okay, that is a part of expansive monetary policy or accommodative monetary policy of RBI. And next topic is BJP to pick CM of 3 states over weekend. So this article is also very important. So now let us see this topic in detail. Okay, so this topic is important from your polity point of view, right? So now BJP government, which had been won in 3 states, okay, 3 states it had been won. So now it having a challenge like, so who will be the CM? Especially in states of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. So if you're talking about appointment of this chief minister and the process of appointment here, so we have the head of the state, that is governor. So governor appoints the leader of the largest political party of the house, or the leader chosen by the largest coalition to become the chief minister. So here who is appointing here? Not president, is governor. So governor is appointing the leader of the largest party of house or the leader chosen by the largest coalition to become the chief minister. So here the chief minister will comes from the majority party, and if there is no party which has been won with a clear majority, then here governor he can use some discretionary powers, and he may appoint a leader as a chief minister and then demonstrate his majority of his floor of the parliament. And in the chief minister, whenever he rises means, so without successor here, governor may pick one at his discretion again. So however, if the ruling party nominates someone, the governor has no choice, but at that time governor need to appoint that person as GM. And if the chief minister does not become a member of either house within 6 months of time, then he will be removing from the post of CM. So this is about this topic of appointment of chief minister. So now let us see the next topic. It is about unemployment rate. So it is very important topic from your economy point of view. So why the unemployment is increased? So we are going to see that. So unemployment rate, especially in this national capital territory region, has been higher than the national average. So national average which is saying that yes, we need to have this amount of this unemployment rate, but here this unemployment rate which had been increased in Delhi. So one important reason here is UPSC aspirants are increasing and they are going to Delhi, right? They are piling up in Delhi. So this is also one important reason. So even here government stated that a city's population is likely to reach 2.65 crore by 2036. So while nothing can improvement in the sex ratio, which remains below the national average. But if you see sex ratio, it is less than. But here if you see, normally the boys percentage has been increased to 2.65 crores by 2030. And there is no data regarding this women. And if you move on, the report which defines what is an unemployment. An unemployed person is as who wants to work, but that person is not getting work. Okay, even though they are available for employment and actively seeking the work, thus reflecting the inability of our economy to generate suitable employment. So here they want to generate a suitable employment. Okay, so what is unemployment? Unemployment is nothing but the person who want to will, but he is not getting the job. And major proportion of male workers, they were found to be engaged in trade, hotels and restaurant sector, followed by manufacturing and other services. So most of the female workers, they were engaged in other services. For example, they are also working in trade, hotels, restaurants, and even they are working in this manufacturing sector, especially in textile industries. And the city's labor force participation rate is 57.5%, but only 4.9% they are for women. So women are less in this labor force participation. And if you see, it is against the national figures of 57.3% for men and 24.8% for women. But now it is just 9.4%. You are lagging behind a lot. So labor force, which consists of all individuals who are either employed or actively seeking employment. So labor force is nothing but they are employed or they are already seeking the employment. So who are not the part of labor force, such as retirees, students, and those who have given up looking for work, they are not considered as unemployed. So who are not unemployed? So you have to know that as well. So labor force says that individuals who are either employed or who are actively participating in employment, so those they will be not coming under this labor force. Okay, for example, it does not include retirees, students, okay, etc. And this one is unemployment individuals, those who are currently not working but they are actively seeking employment, they are available to the work. In other words, they are willing and able to work but do not have a job. So this is the meaning of unemployment exactly. So now let us try to see some facts regarding this unemployment. So we have different types of unemployment. For example, we have frictional unemployment, structural unemployment, cyclical unemployment, disguised unemployment. So what is this frictional unemployment? So this type of unemployment which mainly occurs when individuals are temporary between the jobs and they are transitioning from one job to another job. So whenever I'm working here in Rathod Science Academy, so I don't want to work here, so I will be stopping here, and in the meanwhile I will be searching a job in another institute. That is called as frictional unemployment. So it is naturally, and even it is also one of the healthy unemployment. And this one is structural unemployment. So structural unemployment arises when there is a mismatch between skills and qualifications. For example, I did my farm day, but I'm going to interview for a software company, and I'm saying I completed an MTech. So it is wrong. Like, so here this unemployment arises because of mismatch between whatever the skills you have and whatever the qualifications that you have. And this one is cyclical unemployment. Cyclical unemployment, it is related to economic downturns and business cycles. So when the economy is in the recession, business may lay off the workers due to reduced demand of goods and services. So cyclical means nothing but sometimes ups and downs will be happening in our life. So in that ups and downs here, economy, whenever it is in a recession, so business, they may not go forward. So this is called as cyclical unemployment. And next one is seasonal unemployment. So this is a type of employment which occurs when employment opportunities fluctuate with the seasons. For example, if you are talking about agriculture workers, they will be not getting the work for entire throughout the year. So in some seasons like planting, sowing, and as well as harvesting, at that time only they will be getting jobs. Okay, and next one here is unemployment rate. So unemployment rate is nothing but indicator that express percentage of labor force that is unemployment. For example, we are taking the number of unemployed individuals and we are dividing by this total labor force and we are multiplying with 100. Okay, so that is the thing that we will do to identify this unemployment rate. So here you can see the formula. Unemployment rate is equal to number of unemployed by the labor force and we are multiplying with 100. So what are the impacts of this unemployment? The first one here is poverty will be increased. So unemployment indeed which pushes individuals and families into poverty. So that will lead to poverty, and without a stable source of income, so people struggle to afford necessities such as food, shelter and healthcare. And even this is not only affects their living standards, but even they can also have some intergenerational consequences as well. Okay, so this is a thing which is very, very important. And this one is even because of unemployment that will increases crimes or social unrest in the society, because without this job opportunities people will be get frustrated and they will be get anxiety, etc. Okay, so that will reduce the social fabric. Okay, that will also having effect on the stability of the nation as a whole. And next one is economic loss. Unemployment results in economic loss for the country. Okay, why? Because these people, they are sitting idle in home, so they are not doing any job. So whenever they are doing some jobs, whenever they are getting some salary, that will be accounted to the GDP. Okay, that will lead to reducing of overall prosperity of the country. And next one is mental health issues. Prolonged unemployment can take a toll on individuals' mental health. So it will be having impact on individuals' mental health. The stress and anxiety of not being able to find work, which also leads to the social stigma as well. So finally that will lead to some mental health issues like depression, anxiety, okay, loss of self-esteem, etc. And this one also leads to brain drain. So India has experienced a significant brain drain over the years. With many high skilled individuals, they are seeking better opportunities abroad. So when skilled workers emigrate in search of better job prospects, it can deprive the country of talent. And even we can get normally expertise people. That will lead to overall development of the country itself. And this one is that will also lead to reduced consumer spending, So whenever there is unemployed, for example, I'm not doing any work, I'm sitting idle in home. So will I have the money? No. So whenever I'm not having the money, even if fruits are coming in front of our house, okay, so at that time also I can't purchase these foods. That means it will be decreasing my purchasing power. And here, if you see here, who are unemployed, so whenever they are not having the money, then that will decrease consumer demand. Okay, that will affect the industries negatively. Okay, that will lead to lower sales, layoffs, and it is a potential vicious cycle that will lead to economic downturn as a whole. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let us see next article. It is about fixed dose combination problem. As I said, this topic is important from science and technology point of view. Here we will be studying about this antimicrobial resistance or antibiotic resistance. So if you see context, why it is in news? Because a group of academics from India, Qatar and UAE, they published one report, that is Journal of Pharmaceutical Policy and Practice. So it is Journal of Pharmaceutical Policy and Practice. So it is one of the volume of unapproved and even banned fixed dose combination of antibiotics which are sold in India. So the tragedy here is, so here using the sales data of pharmaceutical industry, about 60 to 65% of fixed dose combinations of antibiotics, they are sold. And even there is a lot of unapproved and banned antibiotics are selling in India. Okay, so there is so many of those unapproved and banned fixed dose combinations they are prescribing in India, and is also one of the alarming concern which is seen in India, because it is one of the important reason for increasing of this antimicrobial resistance. So what is the meaning of this antimicrobial resistance? It is a resistance which acquired by microorganism. For example, if you are getting any disease caused by these microorganisms like virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoa or anything, so you will be taking antibiotics. And after taking antibiotics, what happened? So within 2 to 3 days, the symptoms will be subside. So after you are feeling good and you are getting relief, so you will be forgetting to take the next 2 to 3 days of antibiotics. So because of this reason, that will lead to the increasing of antibiotic resistance in India. And even this antimicrobial resistance which occur when a microorganism changes over a time, okay. So with this, what happens, it will be becoming very harder and it cannot be killed by using the antibiotics. So because of this, that will lead to the increasing risk of this disease spread, and that will lead to increasing of illness and as well as death. So the World Health Organization has identified this antimicrobial resistance as one of the top 10 threats to the global health. It is one of the top 10 risk to the global health. Okay. And this one here is microorganisms that develop antimicrobial resistance. They are sometimes referred as even superbugs. So you can see these superbugs which are present in the drainage system. Okay, so they are resistant to more than one antibiotic. So in India, over 56,000 newborn deaths are happening because of sepsis. Sepsis means nothing but because of infection. But to that infection, already these microorganisms, they got resistant. So they are not acting. Okay, so these antibiotics that we are using, they are not acting against these microorganisms. So it is one cause of concern. So what are the concerns regarding this antimicrobial resistance? So first one is, it will lead to a life-threatening condition. Yes or no? Yes. And the growth of this antimicrobial resistance, which has proved to be a major challenge. Okay, if there is any infection or sepsis, then in that case here antibiotics are very, very important. So if there is generation of this antimicrobial resistance or antibiotic resistance, so we can use that, so that here the life-threatening conditions will be entering into your life. And next one is, there is reduction in the medical advances. So antimicrobial resistance, which is also undermining and undoing medical advances made over the decades. So because of this, what happens, that will lead to the increased high burden of diseases like tuberculosis and various cancers. If you're talking about this achievement of goals, so it is putting the gains of Millennium Development Goals at risk and endangers achievements of its Sustainable Development Goals. And next one is it also leads to increasing of the superbugs, because whenever we are releasing the water without treatment, that is untreated wastewater from medical facilities into the nearby water bodies, that will also lead to the formation of these superbugs. And even with this time we can expand. Okay, what happened here is whenever we are taking this self medication, so whenever you are going to the pharmacy and if you are asking that I am suffering from fever, cold and bronchitis, they will be giving antibiotic for sure. So because of this OTC antibiotic availability, so it is one of the important cause for the highest rate of antibiotic resistance in the world. And next topic, it is about what are the reasons for the spread of this antimicrobial resistance. So this reasons is also very important from your mains point of view. So we're talking about the reasons. The first one is antibiotic consumption. Antibiotic consumption in humans. So unnecessary and unjudicious use of antibiotic fixed dose combination that will leads to emergence of bacterial strain resistance. That will leads to emergence of bacterial strain resistance to multiple antibiotics. And even it will also helpful. Okay, so it is also leads to this social factors. So actually if there are some social things like, so if you are sitting, okay, in a group and if you are talking something, okay, in the social in the society, so if you are saying that you are having the fever and you are facing some problems, means they will say that just go and take antibiotic. So it is one social factor that is one of the important cause for the self medication in India. So everyone is becoming a doctor day by day, right? So because of this, that is also leading to the increasing of antimicrobial resistance. And next one is we have some cultural activities, like we have mass bathing. For example, Pushkaralu will come, right? So that time here we will be going for mass bathing in some holy rivers. So that time also there will be the spread of this antimicrobial resistance. And next one is antibiotic consumption in the food animals. So whenever we are also giving this antibiotics to this animals which we are consuming, that will also transmit it, and that will also lead to antimicrobial resistance. And this one is because of the pollution which is caused by this pharmaceutical industries. So whenever they are releasing the water which is untreated into the nearby water bodies, so it is also having some impact on this antimicrobial resistance. And even there is an issue of environmental sanitation. So untreated disposal of sewage water bodies, that is leading to the contamination of rivers with antibiotic residues and antibiotic resistant organisms. Okay, so here because of lack of proper sanitation in water bodies, there is increased contamination of water, so that is also one leading cause for antibiotic resistance. And next one is infection control practices in healthcare settings. So a report on hand washing practices of nurses and doctors found that only 31.8% of talent, or only 31.8% of washed hands after contact with the patients. That means if nurses, they are coming and contacting me, like if they touch me and if they gave injection, or if they checked BP, or if they checked this pulse rate or oximeter, so they are not washing the hands. And if they are touching me and they are going to the another patient and they are touching their another patients. So because of this also what happened, it is also one leading cause for the antibiotic resistance. So because of lack of talent in the nurses, so whenever they are not focusing on the cleanliness and sanitation, so it is also one important reason for this spreading of antimicrobial resistance. And next topic, it is about climate change, and this is talking about especially glacier melting, that is melting of glacier, and even glacial lake outburst floods like incidents that are going to be increased in our near future. So this is a thing which mainly said by this article. So if you see this article, it is focusing on this climate change. The World Meteorological Organization, that is WMO, came up with a recent report. So report name is Global Climate 2011-2020. So this will give a broad view of planet responds to the greenhouse gases. So whenever there is increasing of greenhouse emissions, that will lead to increasing of temperature, that is called as global warming. So because of this global warming, melting of glaciers will happen. So because of this melting of glaciers, that will lead to the formation of glacial lakes. That glacial lakes will lead to glacial lake outburst. Okay, outburst flood. So because of this, the people, they are very much vulnerable. So this is the chain that you have to think about. So in the section of the state of glacier health, it point out that on average, world's glacier, they are thinning. There is melting of glaciers is seen from 2011 to 2020. And when we are comparing with the decades, so there is a significant regional variability, and the overall pattern remains that the glaciers in regions of the world, they are becoming smaller day by day. So what is the thing here? So because of this climate change, it is also melting of this glacier. So here in Africa, especially glaciers like Rwenzori Mountains and Mount Kenya, so they are also disappearing, the glaciers, and they said that the complete disappearance of the glaciers will be done by 2030. And if you see on this Mount Kilimanjaro, so it going to melt this glaciers by 2040. So this report, which says that because of this rapid growth of pro-glacial lakes, so whenever there is melting of glacier is happening, that will lead to the formation of the glacial lakes. And if there is increasing of pressure in these glacial lakes, that will lead to the breakage, and that will lead to finally glacial lake outburst flood. So because of this, it is very much threat to ecosystem and as well as livelihoods of people. And if you see this glacial lake outburst flood event, which was brought home this year, okay, so which was brought home this year by the destruction of Chungtang Dam in Sikkim. Okay, so actually what happened recently in Sikkim, this glacial lake outburst flood happened. And if you're talking about this global house gases emissions, they are going to increase at global temperature. So because of this increasing of the global greenhouse gas emissions, that will automatically lead to increasing of global warming by 2.5 to 3 degrees centigrade by the end of the century. So at that time, the declining of this glaciers will be seen, and about 55 to 75% of declining of glaciers. So this is the data, and the sensitivity of this glacier system to warning underlines the need for the careful monitoring. So it said that we need to focus on the careful monitoring despite awareness of the risk posed by Himalayan glaciers. And even it said that there is no early warning system for the likelihood of glacial lake outburst flood events. And much like warning before cyclones, so actually now we are having the good early warning systems, so which will be warning before, like when we are going to have cyclones or when we are going to have flood, like that. In the same way here, so we need to have early warning system regarding the contracting of glaciers, that is melting of glaciers as well. So if there is any incident of this glacial lake outburst flood which is going to be happen, so we need to have this early warning regarding this glacial lake outburst flood also. And for that, we need to make a proper comprehensive assessment, and we need to focus on vulnerability mapping, and we have to come up with the proper infrastructure development. So that is one of the important things that we have to take care about in this present situation. Okay, so this is about this topic, and these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. Now I want to make a small announcement. Students, if you are facing a problem of clearing prelims, and if you are getting like 50 to 60 marks and you are not crossing the cutoff, and here the solution is you can join this prelims booster course. And in this course, we are going to give you day schedule, like what you have to study on which day. And on Sunday, you will be having revision holiday. On that revision holiday, you have to revise what are the topics that you have studied in that week. So because revision is very important, without revision, you can't remember anything. So refer that revision. So we also kept that point in mind, and we allotted Sundays for revision. And here we are also going to have full length test, that is prelims test series from February onwards. So from now onwards we will be having daily test. Okay, so from February onwards every Sunday you will be having the full length test with negative marking, and you will be having weekly twice live classes. Okay, on Monday and as well as on Friday you will be having classes, and on Sunday you will be having 6 to 8 revision class. Okay, so on Sunday you will be having revision class for sure. So whatever you have studied in that week, so we will be having the revision. So in that class I will be saying like what are the points that are important and how the questions will be asked. So how tricky prelims is. Okay, so that discussions we will be having from 6 to 8 on every Sunday. But apart from that, weekly we have 2 live classes which is taken by other faculty. And next one is we are also going to cover current affairs of 1 year, last 1 year current affairs from the different subjects point of view. Okay, and next one is we are also going to provide you one-to-one mentorship. So all these things are very important to clear your prelims. So don't do late. So try to join this course as soon as possible. And if you have any financial problems, so please let me know, so that we will be coming up with a solution for that financial problem as well. So cost of this course here is 4,000 rupees. And if you want to join this course, so you can contact me on this number. That is 8074765513. Okay, so one thing here is we will be also creating the Telegram channel. So in that Telegram channel you will be getting the notes of current affairs, and you will be getting daily test there, and as well as the updates of live classes. Everything will be given through this Telegram channel. So this is one of the excellent course that I can say. So that will helpful to maximize your score and helps you to clear prelims. So believe me and trust me. Okay, so this is about this course, and it's going to be started from Monday onwards. So try to join this course, okay, as soon as possible, today and tomorrow, or else even day after tomorrow also you can join this course. Okay, so that's all for today. So by this I'm concluding. So if you really like this class, hit the like button, and don't forget to share this class to your friends, and even you can refer this course to your friends as well. And don't forget to subscribe to this Rathod's IAS Academy. Thank you so much for watching.